Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to CCxRC. In this video, we're going to be doing a little bit of a shootout between these four 1/18th scale RC crawlers. Starting over on the left is the Hobby Plus Harvest, the CR18P. That's their multiple speed one, and a little bit higher end of that. Then we've got the Traxxas TRX-4m. And all of these are stock except for this one. We've cut the body, but other than that, stock tires, stock internals, even the stock gearing and all that. So we want to show what they're like out of the box. The Furitek Fury here, this is the only one that's brushless. These two, the TRX-4m and the Fury, have oil-filled shocks. And then we have this one here, which is the K5 Blazer, the FMS FCX24. And it is box stock as well, except that I did move the screws from the front here that hold the axle, and they're now on the back, just to give it a little bit better turning radius. All of these have pretty good turning radius. All of them have pretty good slow crawling, except for the TRX-4m out of the box. If you get the crawler gearing for it, it's very good. Very similar radios between them as well, except again for the TRX-4m, which has the Traxxas TQ radio, much bigger. And yeah, this is one here for the K5 Blazer, actually has a foam grip, which is nice, whereas these two have just the plastic. And they also have the kind of touchpad thing there, or little levers that you use for setting your drag and different things. And in this one, it's electronic, so you don't accidentally mess it up in a bag or whatever. So we're gonna get them on this course here. We've got gates set. I've tested them with a 24 scale, and also we did run the K5 Blazer on this already, and saw kind of what is possible. It's all pretty doable, and I changed a few things. But we just want to try to hit the same lines with them and then see how each one does. So I think we'll start here. We'll do maybe the first 3 gates, maybe come down here and then do that with all of them and switch, and then do the rest of the gates. Or maybe we'll do it by hill. Yeah, let's do it by mound. So I've got this mound here, and this mound over here, and we'll do one at a time. Let's start with the Traxxas TRX-4m, because I have to go in here. So some of the things that I do like about this, hard body, and these two are Lexan. So that's going to be a noticeable difference. They all have working lights, different lights that work and where they work. However, this one is the light kit that was added, not stock. So cool thing with these is the little tabs. You just kind of pull up, and the body just kind of pops off. Really kind of a cool thing that Traxxas has created for that. But this one, it does turn on the second you plug it in. So we'll go ahead and turn on our radio, and then we will plug this in, and it should be bound up. So there we go. So yeah, stock. You can see the layout, battery in the middle, 180 motor, 87 turn, stock electronics, everything in there. So we'll drive it over, give it a quick test. So decent speed out of the box. In fact, it does do slow speed pretty well. It's just not super torquey with the gearing that it has out of the box. The tires aren't glued. There are no foams in them. Yeah, see there, you can hear the motor whining. You need an extra input to make it keep going, because getting resistance and stopping. So we just have to kind of add more throttle. So out of the box, this kind of stuff's a little bit more difficult for it. Steering, however, super fantastic out of the box with these. I'm going to stay a little bit further back with these, so I don't accidentally get it out of the shot. We're hanging up on the axle. This does not have portals. All of the others have portals. The tires hook up and see it's binding out there. I was losing power. Again, you change the gearing on this, it's a whole different animal. My other ones I changed to the slower gearing, the low speed. So high centering, that's something that I found with 18th scale. I'm trying to get used to. They high center easier because the wheelbase is a little bit different, longer. So we're going to come down this hill. Bumper hit there. I'm just going to try and point out some things as I'm seeing it as we're going. I will say I like all of these vehicles. I know that from running them. Man, the steering on this one's just absolutely fantastic. One of the highlights, I would say, of it. So for hard body, it seems pretty planted. Pretty good there. All right, we're going to reverse. We're not really going for reverses. All right, this one I've tried. It's a doable line. I'm probably better off getting up on this rock here to have a little bit better footing. Try and drive up there. There we go. Definitely feeling it stopping. There we go. Weed whip is going in the background. Got stuff we're trying to get done here this weekend in the yard, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. All right, over this. Tires, for being what they are pretty decent as far as grip. I like that they are soft. You know, you can see them squishing a little bit. So we're not really trying to count whether or not we hit the gates. We're just trying to see and use them for trying to find lines and how they'll get over it. All in all, that went pretty well. I'm going to leave that on because I can't just switch it off. Let's grab this one so we're not doing it right in a row with this one, which is very similar. In fact, you can tell they're very similar. Fenders are different. The lights at work are different. Things like that. Internals are definitely different. All right, I'm getting a little bit of rain here. Gonna try and hustle through this. Oh, servo on this is much more responsive feeling. Much quicker. Just notice out of the box, this one's easier to one-handed drive. I did have to add on this little Mark Santa Maria grip on there. DSM Off-Road makes them as well. So here we go, Hobby Plus. This is got a low speed and a high speed gearing. Lots of low end torque on this. It's really, really nice and got low torque, good tires. They're trying to hook up there. I kind of missed the approach. Kind of my fault. Good turning as well for the size. Gotta come out over to the side more and get tires on before we start making that corner. There it is. Now we're gonna have to throw a reverse. See if we high center this rock the same way. It's definitely catching there. Came off it a little bit easier than the Traxxas did. So here we go. Up over the big rocks, see if we're gonna high center. Nope. I'm gonna actually turn it a little better. There we go. So far all of them, the two of them, have done pretty well. The low speed power of this is much better out of the box with the gearing. The portals help. That was pretty, oh, rollover. So that's funny because this is the Lexan one and I rolled it. So I just had a bad approach on that. Let's give it another go here and just give it a better shot at that. Drop off, there we go. All right, same thing here. Come through here, try and hook this corner. Nice. Pushed it a little bit, but it'll still, I don't want to use that to make the line. Flex is all right with it. Little stiff, not too bad. We'll just leave this one on here as well. I forgot I can turn the lights on by pushing the button. So now those lights are on as well. All right, let's come over here, get the K5 Glazer. This one kind of has the higher weight, I feel like, of them all, the weight balance, and yet it performs pretty well. All right, so this one with the hard body definitely seems to be the most floppy of them all with the suspension. The Traxxas does have the oil-filled shocks. This one has the ability to turn these into oil-filled shocks. Comes with the O-rings. Again, this one you can just slow power. It's got it. And these tires, trying to get it, there it is. So it's pretty good flex on it. Overall, power up, pretty good. Steering doesn't seem to be as good as the first two, but definitely not terrible for the size and for getting it turned tight and quick. So it's made all the lines so far that the others have. A little bit more floppy. That bumper is going to definitely, oh, it didn't hit there. I found a good line. So far, all three checking a lot of boxes. Again, I would say out of the box driving for this kind of driving, not trying to go fast, the Traxxas is probably the lowest of the three in the torque out of the box from the motor, and that's just based on gearing. And these are just 2-speed transmissions in these first and these other two. So having a little bit of a struggle bus with this one. Here, let's back it up. Let's get some tires on this rock, see if we can't get it to drive up a little better. There we go. That's what it was for all of them. See if it tips the same thing out. Ooh, it's wanting to go, but it didn't. It held on. All right, so all three doing pretty well. None of this is crazy territory, but this one flexes really good up underneath that big old hard body. So nice to see. This one as well has lights that I didn't have turned on. We hit the bind button once, and now they're on. All right, there's those three done. Let's grab the Fury. All right, this one here is the only one of the bunch that's running a brushless motor. It's an Outrunner, the Venom motor. 1 speed, it's got lots of speed, and it's got slow crawl capabilities. So I just missed that start. You can hear it just working. Keep the speed going right on up. Get tires on here. Gonna have to reverse it. See if this one high centers. I felt like this one high centered on a lot of stuff, and it somehow missed it. Just funny, because I thought this one with the chassis would high center more on some of this stuff. It's got a metal chassis, the only one of the bunch. Well, no, it's got like a custom metal chassis with lots of options for mounting shocks and that kind of stuff. I'd say it's more of like a comp style chassis than the others right out of the box. So we didn't even go up on using that rock. Maybe we should have. So reverse is touchiest, I would say, of this one, because it does have that wheel speed in the motor. So while you can go super slow, especially in forward, in reverse it's a little touchier, I'd say. This has oil-filled shocks over the Hobby Plus version. And the lights are up on the top here. So that one made that corner pretty well. Same thing where they're all going to push that on that rock surface. Flex pretty good. I'd say out of all of them, the flex seemed to be the most out of the K5 Blazer. Let's do these in reverse order for this next set here. Since I'm driving this, need the wheel speed there to get up. First wet rock that we're going to encounter. Luckily this one isn't, which is going to be our tricky one to get up and over. And I don't know that any of them are going to make it. It's a mean one, and that's why we used it. We come over this side more. See if we can avoid that high center. Okay, there we go. Oh, we'll save it. Work our way back up. Pop through this one. Nice power, gripping that rock. Body is kind of hanging up a little there, but we're able to wheel speed through. Bumper on this one's nice and kind of tucked and out of the way, which is probably the nicest of them. That front end setup, climbing right up there. We did high center a little. We're gonna walk it. There we go, get some traction. Something's pushing. We're on some loose rocks here, pushing the steering. All right, so this one we're gonna be able to get over this. I think we can go without falling. Well, turn up, there we go. Wheel speed. All right, so we gotta split this a little. Again, the bumper on this is nice, out of the way. Let's just get tires on. And we're just gonna kind of pull through this. Nice. Now this wasn't planned. I don't have a gate set here, but I do want to do this section where you come up and over this. This is one of my favorite moves on this rock, is hooking on there, getting tires up, and then we'll spin back around from that and hit the last gate. So we're going to force call that a line. Do reverse. Yes, it's jumping reverse. Ooh, our bumper's hooked. All right, we made that, but it was dirty. We're gonna try it again. Try it again. Bad line on it, because I wasn't intending to come around the way that we did. I more thought we were gonna come from this direction over here. Oh, it did slide. So chassis is catching. The chassis right there is caught and spinning it. So that's twice dirty. All right, we're gonna remember that. Dirty on the ending because it's high centering on this. Again, I chalk it up to this extra long bottom part of the chassis here. That's actually the same height about as the length there. Not letting it slide as much and kind of hooking. So I could see maybe grinding that off some, getting a little bit more clearance if you're really worried about the performance. All right, now we got the weed whip and we got not rowdy neighbors. Wrong one. All right, K5. It's gonna be kind of an exhaustive one here, guys. Long, long video. If you watched my K5 Blazer one, oh, you'd see that it's done this kind of course already. So I kind of have an idea what it's gonna do here. Mirrors are problematic. This one's definitely the most scale. We're gonna have to reset that completely by hand. Bumpers, gonna get over. There, see it has more high clearance. That front bumper now caught, which is the other problem that it has. So it didn't high center as much. It's a lot taller stance on it, so I think that's part of it. It's gonna get over more things with that. The way that the tires on this reach. Look at that twist though. Very, very nice. I honestly, before driving this one, wasn't a huge fan of the original FCX24, and this one's changed my mind on it completely. It has some struggles, but it also has some things that it really excels at. I need to get moving. So it's struggling with this. It struggled with this yesterday, but we're starting to get more rain and it's going to start getting too wet. So this is going to roll if I don't just run it down because the high center of gravity. Come back up. This split was difficult because of the bumper, so we're going to try some different approaches. There we go. It hit, pushed it. Struggle bus for sure with this one, and we're getting rain. And then it struggled with this because of the bumper, but it did all right with this because it had plenty of clearance. Yep. All right. Let's do the TRX-4m because it's the most different of them. The Hobby Plus is pretty close to the Furitek with a little bit lesser components, but it's so close considering that it's brushed. This one's getting up on all this stuff real good. It's gonna high center too. It's got those rails on the side, bumper up front. Get it to dig. Come on. Now it's gonna get slick. It's a bummer when you're making videos and the weather doesn't cooperate. All right. We'll just chalk that as not really doable. It's a tough one. I knew it would be when I built it. Great there. Again, I'm feeling the motor just kind of stall out. Needs more throttle input. So we'll see what this does with it being slick. I will say all of these are very capable, and this whole scene has come such a long way with these mini RCs, you guys. You could be happy with pretty much any of these. So it's not like, oh, well, I already have this one, but now I need to get that one. They all are pretty standout in different ways. And this one excels more when you do change the gearing. But if you're just running around the yard and you're a kid and you want some speed, so I'm gonna have to go down with this one too, hard body. You're gonna want that high speed of this. So you could go brushless with this, and then that changes everything because it'll do both the power and the speed. Yeah, see, I did that great. And I've done this with it before. It does this good too. You can get the tires up on. Get through here. Oh, I'm gonna roll it. Let's just try the last one, and we're gonna have to call this early. Our shootout is gonna be postponed. We'll still post this due to rain. But oh, it's getting really high center too on the body on this one, not the chassis. Those rails on the side, the steps sides, the rock rails are catching. All right, we're gonna try and get this through. We're here. The tires aren't wet yet. The rocks are starting to get wet, but I just feel like this thing does so well, just like the Fury. See, it's gonna get through this just the same where the other one's hung up. And it doesn't have quite as long of that lower part of the chassis, so it might not high center as much on the very end. But you definitely still, even though it's not brushless, you have on this really good control. And if I do wheel speed here, it's got some speed. So we just turned it to wheel speed there to kind of just help get up over that. So switch gears. See, it's not hanging up there because of height. These are going to be slick and tough. We'll see if it's going to push like the Traxxas did. It is. And that's, I can't fault any of them. The rear tires are sliding on this rock. And we're just going to try and find the other way up. There we go. They're just getting slick. These smooth rocks. There it goes. Little high center. Oh, there's a wood piece up in front of it that was hitting. But this one might have the best of the, other than the K5, this one's definitely more planted, has better approach angles. I feel like it has a little bit better steering too than the FMS. But I think that the clearance is actually better on this one for the under part of the chassis, because it doesn't have the comp chassis with all the holes. A little bit shorter. So very comparable to the Fury. Doesn't have oil-filled shocks, and it doesn't have, see, this one's still hanging up too on that chassis though. Doesn't have the oil-filled shocks, and it doesn't have the brushless system, but very similar otherwise. So yeah, same issues with this one pushing and twisting on that. All right, guys, they're all a little bit wet. They're all very capable. And I mean, they're different prices too. I don't remember the harvest price at the time of this video, but I paid $150 for the K5, $150 for the TRX-4m, and then $200 for the Fury, and I think it's about $160 for the Harvest up there, the 2-speed. But All of them very, very cool and capable. You know, for the extra little bit, I would probably go with the Fury for the oil-filled shocks and the brushless system. You could do brushless in the TRX-4m as well, or any of these, but you're gonna have to buy an ESC and the motor. You're gonna be looking at about 130 bucks to do it. This one already has it in it, and it's running the Lizard Pro, which just buying that's 80 bucks for any of these that you want to put them into. So best bang for the buck is definitely going to be the Fury wagon, the FX118 by Furitek. And then, I mean, all of them are pretty capable, as you just saw on what we've been running here. And we had a couple more difficult ones over here to get to, but now it's just too slick. But I think we still got a pretty good test showing what they're capable of. You can watch back some of the footage. I tried to hit the lines about the same. They all had some of the same struggles with the high centering and different things. And the one that didn't was the K5, but the problem with that is it's lifted so much that it tips over easier in other spots. So, you know, the give and take of it. But I think they're all very, very capable out of the box and provide very fun driving experiences. So I will add on here though that, you know, I don't have, you know, the best feelings about Traxxas these days, but it would probably be my second choice out of these. I just like something about the way that it performs and the way that it's laid out internally. But I mean, it'd be tough because the Hobby Plus is so close to this Fury wagon, just straight up like it. But the oil-filled shocks in both of these definitely gives it a different feeling. Again, I know you can change that one to oil-filled with what comes in the box. I just haven't been able to do that yet. And that's something, you know, some people never will, or they'll just buy them because, you know, they don't want to do it. And so that's why I like that these came with it out of the box, and that's what we're looking at. These are all straight stock. Well, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Which ones do you have? Which one do you think is the best bang for the buck? And if you didn't have one, which one would you buy? So let me know down in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, have fun RCing. Catch you next time.